I'm assistant professor at the University of Amsterdam in the Department of Psychological Methods now. For the last 4 years I did my PhD on something completely unrelated to this topic, I think. It's about network estimation models in psychology. Before my PhD, when I was a student, I was working, or I did a course from Professor Jelte Wiggers on questionable research practices in open science. And he did this project with Marjan Bakker, where you have to check for statistical errors, and they did it manually. And then they gave a test for us during an assignment during the course that I had to do that. So I had to go through a paper and then write down all the results myself and then check them myself. And I found it a bit boring, so I thought I'm going to make this automatic. And that's sort of when I came up with this idea for statcheck. Then I was going to start a PhD project. I didn't have that much time. So I asked Michèle, who was a colleague of mine, a friend, doing the same study program, if she wanted to help out finish the package, and then she started her PhD on this topic. So she took over and she basically did everything with statcheck since then. Other topics I'm working on, it's not my main topic, open science, but I do like to be involved in it. I worked a lot on the research reproducibility project. I ran a team of students that for each, so this was this research done in science where they replicated 100 papers in psychology and it turned out only 30% replicated. I ran a team of students that went through all the papers and wrote R codes to make the analysis open and reproducible and to check if they were correct as well. So lots of analysis were done in SPSS or SAS and we wanted it all in R. So all the students, they went through all the papers and all the replications and then checked them and then wrote R codes for that. So that's something I was involved in last year. I also work with the team of Wagemakers, who also won the prize. Couldn't be here, unfortunately. He has a baby, I think, a few months ago. I work on the JASP project, which is a sort of open source SPSS-like program that allows people to do the state-of-the-art analysis, and most importantly Bayesian analysis, which is pretty important for replications because it allows you to quantify evidence for the null hypothesis. And I work with that. I implement new analysis in the JASP, and I work on making it easier for people to write R codes for JASP. So those are the main projects I'm working on. So especially in the last few months, I've noticed that there's been a very negative reception as well. I think statcheck is mainly important because it's just a spell check. So it's just a spell check for statistical errors. We can always use this. It's like if I write a paper, I can see that my spelling is incorrect, and now I can also see if my statistical values are correct or not. And that's useful to have also for reviewers, also for editors. There was this huge project in the summer where statcheck was applied to a lot of papers automatically, and automatically public peer reviews were posted online. And a lot of people didn't like that. I didn't know about the project. I wasn't involved in that. I am not sure if that's the best way to use this program or not. But that created a lot of mixed reception. So a lot of people, they didn't like that program, but project, but at the same time they saw the value in statcheck and really liked that. So they were very positive about statcheck, but very negative about it being used in that way. But we also got a lot of very positive reactions, and especially the last few months since last year when the paper came out as well. I think a main use now, and I've already heard of journals doing this, is just to have it as a sort of standard thing to apply if I submit a paper, if I review a paper, that I can just always check if the values are correct or not. So if I have to teach about open science or good research practices, which I don't because Wagemakers teaches that, that's why he won the prize, but say I have to teach a course like that, I will say that you can use this and you can always apply this and just as a check for yourself, basically.
Okay.
I don't see it. I wouldn't like it to become even more searching for people that might have done something wrong. Even though it is also important to what Michèle also says, to look back on published literature and see if that's correct or not.
Right.
So it is important in that regard to also apply it in that way. So I think 6 years ago, 5 years ago, when I did my master's program in Amsterdam, and Jelte Wiggers was still in Amsterdam, and Erik Jan Wagemakers was there teaching us, and it was all very bleak and pessimistic. And we knew that there was a problem, we knew that all these studies don't replicate, but nothing is changing. And I think what I found exciting in the last few years is that there are so many new things being developed, but also being picked up, and there's real change in psychology slowly towards trying to do it better, reproducing studies, doing it all open, and that's being more and more picked up, and I think that's really exciting to see. I think the world now, or psychology especially, is so different now already than 4 years ago, and it will be interesting to see how that will pan out in the future as well, when more studies will be done that are open and online and freely available. More data will become available to analyze. I think that's I'm happy about that. It's less pessimistic now as 5 years ago, but I think there's still a lot of problems in psychology especially that cannot be solved just by open science. Just a lot of problems like there's a lack of theory, and if you don't have theory, then you can just find any results basically, and that's not being solved by this, or not being solved by any open science movement that requires a more deeper, substantial change in psychology. There's always, I think there will always be a drive towards finding new, novel insights. So people will always try that, and you cannot really avoid that, even with pre-registered hypotheses. So there's still a lot to do. I'm not that optimistic yet about psychological science, but it's getting better.